Hello and welcome back to my channel. As you can see today we are doing a kind of traditional mansion, I guess you could say, and it is part of my world building thing. So I'm going to go ahead and read the character description for the family that's living in this house, and then we'll talk about the house a little bit. So the title of the family is Leader of the Free World. And then the description is, Jameson Winters is the leader of the free world, or at least the leader of this nation. He's worked so hard to get to where he is now. His wife is perfect, his home is perfect, his kids are perfect, and even his dog is perfect. Is his life as perfect as it seems on the surface, or is there something he's not sharing with his constituents? And then inside of the household, there is Jameson Winters, who's an adult male, and he is the individual who has reached the top of the political career. And then Ginger Winters is his wife, and she's also an adult female. And then their oldest child is Peter Winters. He's a young adult. The next child is Macy Winters, and she's a teen girl. And then after that, it's Bailey Winters, who's a child boy. Nathaniel Winters, who is also a child boy. And then Valerie Winters, who's a toddler girl. And then, of course, their dog as well. And then, as I said previously, this house is more of a traditional style mansion. It is an absolutely huge house. It's on the 64 by 64 lot in, actually I think it's 60 by 60 from memory, in Windenburg, and it is just an absolutely ginormous house. And it's kind of interesting because all of the architecture is totally symmetrical, which is a big style of these really old mansions, so I kind of had fun with that. It was a little bit difficult to make it symmetrical and not have the floor plan literally be symmetrical, because that'd be kind of weird. But yeah, the architecture is all symmetrical on the outside, and then on the inside it kind of gets changed up a little bit. And then I also just wanted to say that later, because I have a rant that I have to share once I kind of cover the basis of the house and the family. So I did want to explain that when I did the kitchen, I kind of changed it a lot because I realized I made it too big and it was this whole thing. So if you notice that you don't see any footage of the kitchen, that's because I had to completely change it. So it wasn't really worth it for me to use that original footage, because that wasn't what it ended up looking like, but I didn't want to put in, yeah. So that's the reason why. And then I also wanted to explain how you can't see it right now because it's not part of the main house. But in the very front of the house, there's a little, it almost looks like a gazebo, I guess, but not really. It's just kind of the separation from the house, and that's the father, the husband's office space, because this isn't the case for a lot of smaller governments, but a lot of country governments, the head of state or head of government will live in the country's business place, if that makes sense, like the White House, for example. And so I decided to kind of do that. So the very front room, or the very front gazebo looking thing, is the office for his job, if that makes sense. You'll see me making it later, but that's what it's intended to be. And it's actually modeled after an office that I worked in, the colors and the kind of setup and everything too. So just so you know, that's what it is. It'll come up later in the video though. So now it's rant time, and just a forewarning, this will probably be quite a rant because I'm pretty annoyed, and this has nothing to do with this topic or whatever, but just warning you. So anyway, just a little bit of background to fully understand what's going on. So at my university, I am the student director for this internship program, where basically the program helps students get interns in or internships in the Capitol and blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter. But basically what that means is that right now, while we're recruiting, it means that I am going to tons of different somewhat related classes and advertising the program, with permission from the teacher, professor, and handing out some flyers, asking if anyone has questions. It's not a big deal, But basically, I kind of started with some of the classes that I'm currently enrolled in, just because it's easier to talk to professors that you've had or that you currently have, rather than just cold calling, So basically, I was scheduled to present in one of my classes today, and this class has maybe 70 students or something. And also, just a little more information. Like, I'm not the best public speaker ever, but I'm not awful. Like I'm okay at public speaking, you know, but this job has me like public speaking in front of hundreds of people. Like, one of the classes I have to visit has 700 people and I have to go and talk to them, you know, so it's like not the most comfortable thing to be doing in the first place. But basically, I was scheduled to go and present in one of my classes today, and there's this one guy in my class that I'm not really a fan of anyway. I have no clue what his name is. I've never really talked to him, but I'm just not really a fan. Like, he sat next to me one day with his friend, and him and this girl just like talked the whole entire period. Can you not? Like, you know, like, wait until after class is over. Like, the teacher or the professor didn't say anything, you know, but it was just like, there are other students here. Can you like be a little respectful or something, you know? But anyway, and he also like eats a bunch of food in class, which like I don't care, but he like opens the wrappers really loud, which I'm sure you can imagine is like kind of irritating, where it's just like, open the wrappers before, or do it quick, or try to be quiet or something, but it's like he has like zero understanding that there's like other students in the class or whatever. But anyway, so today I go up in front of the class, and I had gotten permission from the professor, you know, and I'm talking and kind of just, you know, doing as you do when you speak in front of people, you kind of look at different people, and I looked at him, and he was like making fun of me like while I was presenting, and I know he was making, or I'm not 100% certain that he was making fun of me. You know, he didn't tell me he was making fun of me or something, but basically, like, he was mocking the way I was talking. Like, he was doing the same hand gestures that I was doing, and like you could just tell, and like him and his friend were they were like giggling and kind of like looking at me weirdly, and yeah, so he was just like pretty obviously making fun of me while I was talking. And then the second I looked at him, his eyes got big and he stopped, you know, like he was suddenly embarrassed by the fact that he was doing something that was awful, you know. And so I just kept presenting. I didn't say anything, obviously, but I feel like I just had to rant about this for a little bit because, you know, at first, like I said, I just finished the presentation, I sat down, I did what I was supposed to do, and at first I was kind of like hurt by it, you know, because I mean, that really sucks to have someone like make fun of you while you're like looking at them, you know. And so for a little bit I was like really kind of upset about it, you know, but then like the more I thought about it, I just got like angry because I was just like who is this guy? Like, you know, like I don't know, and it's kind of weird because it's like, who taught this kid that like it's okay to do that, you know? Like, I mean, no one's perfect, obviously, like people make mistakes. I'm not saying like that anybody has never made fun of someone, or, you know, what, like literally nobody's perfect. I'm not upset about that, but the thing that like bothered me was that he knew what he was doing was wrong too, because the second he saw that I looked at him, he stopped. So it's like, clearly he knew you aren't supposed to treat people rudely. Like, it's not like he was ignorant about the fact that you should be nice to people. Like, he knew that, but he just did it anyway. And like, the thing that's so annoying about that too is like, you know, this guy, I don't even know his name. I've never talked to him before. Probably never going to talk to him ever again. But like, he clearly wasn't, I mean, I don't think he was trying to make me feel bad or whatever, you know, like, I don't think that was his goal. He doesn't know me. It's not like he has like some malicious intent towards me or whatever, but he did it to make his friend laugh. Like, you know, he did it to make that girl that he sits next to laugh. And the thing that's so annoying about that is like, this guy did something really rude and insensitive to make his friend laugh for 2 seconds, and then he made me feel like trash for like the rest of the day, you know? So like, I don't know. My rant here is basically just to say, like, stop being such a jerk to everybody for like all people, you know? Because like, I mean, I know there's that thing that people say like, oh, you never know who is like fighting an internal battle or whatever. And that's true. That's not my issue. Like, it's not like I'm gonna like cry for the rest of the day or something. That's not the point. But like, it's just like, if you have the choice to be a good person, or sorry, if you have the choice to be a jerk or be nice, like, why would you choose to be a jerk? You know, like, I don't understand, like, why you would make that conscious decision to be a jerk, especially because, like I said, the second I looked at him, he knew he did something wrong. Like, he looked guilty and embarrassed, and, like, he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing, you know? And so, like, again, nobody's perfect, the guy made a mistake, whatever. But if you have a choice to be a jerk or be nice, like, why would you not choose to be nice? Or even if you have the choice to be a jerk or be neutral, you don't have to say anything, you know? It's not like I'm expecting someone from the class to come up and tell me how beautiful I am and how this project or this presentation that I did was just so engaging and all this stuff. Like, that's not, I spoke for 2 minutes, that's not true, you know, not expecting that. But it's just like, why would you choose to be an awful person when you could just, like, be quiet? Like, I don't know. So basically, this rant is just to complain a little bit, and also to, you know, get rid of some of the annoyance that I felt about this stupid situation, and then also, like, just to remind everyone to, like, not be a jerk, because I know that, like I said, this guy wasn't trying to hurt my feelings, he doesn't know me, but just remember, like, to be nice to people. Like, life is hard enough as it is, there's no reason to make things harder or worse for other people. Like, you know, I don't know. And finally, the last part of my rant is, like, this is, like, cheesy, but also, like, try to do something nice for somebody today, because, again, why would you be mean when you could just not be mean? But also, sometimes it's nice to go out of your way to make somebody feel better. Like, I remember I used to work at a cosmetic store, like a retail store, and people, like, you know, I'd be working these long shifts. I worked during holiday, I was a lead, like, it was just awful. People complained all the time. It was, you know, we were understaffed. It was just literally an awful job, and I hated it. And the shifts were so long and just terrible. And somebody, you know, inevitably every couple shifts would say, like, that they really liked my shirt, or, you know, I have this weird curly red hair and people tend to notice it, and they would compliment me on my hair, or, you know, say thank you, like, really nicely or whatever. And so, like, just do something nice for someone today, even if it just means that you tell them that you like their shirt. Like, don't be weird about it, or, like, cheesy or stupid or whatever, but just, like, why put negative stuff into the world when you can just be nice? Like, I don't know. Like, I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to always say, like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Like, sorry, I think that was too many double negatives. I don't remember exactly what he said, but basically, I don't remember the exact wording, but just don't say anything mean if you don't have to say anything mean, and you never have to say anything mean, because that's just mean. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up this rant because it's gone on too long, and I'm pretty sure I'm repeating myself at this point. But anyway, like I said, don't be a jerk, and try to be nice to people. So we are now going to rejoin the sim world, since that's what you actually came for. You didn't really come here to hear me rant, but I guess that's what was going to happen anyway. So like I said previously, this is like the office of the leader. And so when you walk in, there's kind of like a reception area, which is pretty normal for, I mean, not just politician offices, but normal offices. You know, typically there'll be a reception. And then once you go past the reception's desk, there is, you know, the desk and some seating areas. And like I said previously, this was based off an office that I worked in over the summer. And even the colors are actually the same, which is kind of cool. It's not obviously exactly the same, but it's just based off of it. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't envision when you picture like these kind of offices, but a lot of the time it's just like places for people to sit. Because I remember when I was working over the summer, there was this one meeting that the boss of the office had that had like 50 people fit into this office that's pretty big, but it's not big enough to fit 50 people, you know, so sometimes it's like helpful for people to have this many chairs, you know, just to sit at. So yeah, I was really happy with the way the office turned out. I really liked the style of it. And then you also saw me working on that kind of like back room, and basically that kind of just ties into the like hint in the family description about how he has a secret, and I kind of didn't really put too much in about the secret because I kind of wanted you to be able to do something else if you wanted to do something else, because kind of what I was aiming it at was towards aliens, you know, because aliens are a big thing in the game, and that's kind of a secret, you know, that's not really too mainstream in normal life, I guess. So yeah, it's kind of aimed at like he's hiding aliens or he's doing research on aliens. But if you have a better idea, it's like would be pretty easy for you to change if you were interested. And then now we are moving on to the kids' rooms upstairs. And currently, like I had read at the beginning, the description of the family, they have an adult son, and this is his room. You could have him move out if you'd like, because he's a young adult. He'd be totally free to, you know, it's not like he's a kid or anything, but if you want him to continue to live there, that he has a room and he has a space. And then one last thing that I wanted to talk about that I forgot was feelings about Realm of Magic, because Realm of Magic just was released, and I am interested to hear what other people have to say, because I was super excited to hear that this pack was going to come out. I love magic. As you could probably see, I've done quite a few Harry Potter things. It's something that I was always super into as a kid and whatnot, so I was super excited for the Realm of Magic pack. And I've played it, and I wasn't exactly the most happy with it, and based off of some of the stuff that I've seen on Twitter, some other people weren't exactly the most happy about it. So if you have any thoughts or feelings about it, please let me know, because yeah, I just am a little disappointed in it. Personally, I was disappointed because I was a huge fan of The Sims 3, and I think I've mentioned this before, and like that was my favorite game. I could play it nonstop, and anytime like an expansion pack would come out, you know, I'd play it for hours and still just be having the time of my life. But I feel like with this pack, I purchased it, I downloaded it, played it for like an hour maybe, and I was kind of like, I'm kind of over it. Like, and you know, I know that like the developers and whatnot have said that the reason the game has a lot less stuff in it is because The Sims 3 crashed a lot, you know, like it's almost unbearable to play how often it crashes and how much it loads. So I get that, but then I also am a little bit confused because on Twitter I've seen a lot of people complaining about how much people's games were crashing after they downloaded the new pack. So it kind of seems like it's one thing if that's what they say and then it works out, you know, where the game doesn't crash very often, but like it's another thing for them to say that and then to still have the game crash. So I'm a little frustrated. I kind of wish that the packs were a lot better than they are in the game, because I don't know, I feel like you pay a lot of money and you don't really get that much content or fun out of it. So please let me know if you have the same opinion or different, because I'd love to hear it. Oh, and then also I heard people complaining, or saw people complaining, sorry, on Twitter as well, because, you know, it seems like they keep releasing these packs, and it sounds like there might be another pack released this year. There was like a leak about University. I don't know if it's true. You don't really know if anything's true until they, you know, release it or make a trailer or whatever. So I don't know. You didn't hear it from me. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I saw something on Twitter about it, and people were saying that they're just like really frustrated because like they keep coming out with all these packs, but then they don't fix the glitches and the issues from even just like the base game. Like, I cannot describe how many times I have built this really cool house with this really gorgeous like open area on the second floor, and then I have to take it out because you can't have a roof next to a room that has an open floor, because then the roof cuts into the house, which is really frustrating because the game's like 5 years old and these really simple glitches seem to still have a lot of issues. So that's what I'm frustrated about. I kind of wish that they would fix these things that don't work very well, and especially, so okay, another rant. I've been playing like a little legacy thing just on my own time, like not, you know, filming it or whatever, and toddlers are the most frustrating things I've ever done, because like the interactions don't work. Anytime you try to put them in a high chair or whatever, it just gets glitchy and it stops working, and it's like seriously the most frustrating thing ever, and they've had toddlers in the game for years and it hasn't been fixed. So if anyone has any suggestions about how to play with toddlers and not absolutely hate it, please let me know. But anyway, this is the end of the video. I hope you liked it. Like I said, I'll have the link to the website below, and if you have any comments or questions or concerns, or if you want to share the kind thing that you did today or whatever, please let me know, because I would really love to hear it. So I hope you have a great day.